in prison, you don't ask what people are there for. You don't ask how much time they have or they're serving. And also, typically, the system puts you in, your cellmate, your cellie, or your roommate, in other terms, is someone who's got similar time as you. And the reason for that is safety, right? I'm in there for 5 years. Bone's in there with 3 life sentences. He doesn't have a lot to lose. So they typically put those guys in together, right? I was on a medical leave, which is just you catch a chain to the medical facility, and they had to house me somewhere, just kind of a temporary housing, a unit just in the middle of nowhere. And so I show up at the unit, and they lead me to my cell. It's super hot. It's Texas. There's no AC. It's about 120 degrees in this metal thing, and they open the cell. They put me in there, and there's a guy sitting on the top bunk, and he's in his boxers because it's so dang hot. He's got the Grim Reaper tattooed on him. He's got Rage tattooed across his stomach. And I just said, hey, how's it going, man? Typical. What you would do? Hey, how you doing? And he said, oh, immediately. I'm just trying to give some of this time back to the state. So he's kind of left the door open. I said, oh, they gave you a lot of time. Yeah, 3 life sentences. And so immediately I know there's only one thing you do that gets you 3 life sentences. And I'm in an 8x10 at the very end of the run where nobody can hear us. And so my first instinct is like protection mode, right? Like, okay, I'm going to have to survive this thing, right? Well, I just kind of get my stuff together, get on my bunk. I have my little pocket Bible that I kept with me. I'm just reading and praying and reading and praying. And then conversation would open up and, little things here and there. And I mean, we're locked down. We're 23-hour lockdown. And we're an 8x10. So it's not like you're going to avoid each other, right? And I'm glad we didn't.
Wow.
But so eventually the conversation turned more into a friendship. And to your point, Bone did a horrific triple murder. He outlined the whole thing for me. It was like, man, it's like watching one of those shows on ID Network, but in person. You're talking to the guy yourself, and you're locked in there with him. And, but what I found out, Ken, is he wasn't a terrible person. What he did was terrible. No way around that. But he had a bad morning, a really, really bad morning. He got his heart hurt, and he made some really, really poor choices. And those are not reversible. You're not getting out, Bone. He's not, literally he would talk about all day how he could, potentially escape. And then he'd look at me and go, well, wouldn't you if you were me? And I'm like, I can't argue with that. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, Bone, but I hope you don't. So anyway, long story short, we got to a point where we had a good relationship. We're joking. I'd go to the bars and holler out, hey, get me out of here. You got me in here with a killer. And he'd be like, and then we'd be more serious. And I'd say, dude, like, you're an angry dude. He's like, I'm not an angry dude. I'm not, Puff, I'm not an angry guy. And I go, Bone, you got Rage tattooed on your stomach. You got the Grim Reaper, man. Like, come on. And he'd laugh. And we got to that point where we could do that. And so, you know what? The time came. I thought they forgot about me. I was only supposed to be there like overnight. I was there 10 days with Bone. 23-hour lockdown. Yeah. And we'd only get out for a shower here and there and then to get food. And, as I was leaving, he said, hey, Puff, it was good to know you, appreciate you, yada, yada. And then he said to me, the night before you came in here, I had the cell to myself. I had tied up my bed sheets and was going to hang myself because I had no hope. I only had 3 life sentences to look towards, and your encouragement, and specifically your encouragement in your pocket Bible you shared with me, gave me some hope. And I mean, man, where would I ever have that opportunity again to minister to someone like that, without knowing it? I didn't know that. I didn't know that story. I just assumed, yeah, he's got a tough go at it, but I had no idea that he almost ended it. So, yeah.